Focus on value. Focus on value is our first guiding principle. It states that everything the organization does should link back directly or indirectly to value for itself, its customers, and its stakeholders. Now, how do we apply this focus on value? Well, there's really a four-step method that I like to use when I think about focusing on value. First, I want to understand and identify the service consumer. Who is it that I'm trying to serve? Because if you remember from value, we're trying to co-create value between the service provider and the service consumer. Now, once I identify who that service consumer is and how they plan on using my service, I can then understand the consumer's perspective of value. For example, if my service consumer is a student who wants to be able to watch videos to learn how to pass the EIDL4 exam, then I need to understand how you plan on consuming that. Are you planning on sitting at your desktop all day, or are you going to be on a mobile device? And if you're on a mobile device, do you have enough data to be able to stream the videos? Or do you want to be able to download the data and be able to download all those videos ahead of time? These are all things that we have to consider as we're building out our service and how we can best support and provide value to our service consumers. Then I want to map the value to the intended outcomes, and those intended outcomes may change over time. I used the example before of this exam. You're taking this course so you can pass an exam. Now, once you've passed the exam, you may go back and watch these videos again, but now you have a completely different perspective and desired outcome because you're not trying to pass the exam, you've already done that. Instead, you're trying to go back and review and get smarter in certain areas so you may be able to take that and apply it inside your organization. So those give us two distinctly different outcomes. One is a set of students who are watching the videos to pass the exam. Another set is students who are watching the videos to get better at their job and be able to apply EIDL4 inside their organizations. That brings us to our fourth step. And the fourth thing I look at is to understand the customer experience and the user experience. Now, this goes back to, again, how does that customer use your service? What are they trying to achieve in it? And are you doing it the best way possible for them? For example, we might decide to make a mobile app that will allow you to take all of your videos on the go on your iPhone or your Android. That might work well if a lot of my customers consume our content through a mobile device. But if we find that most of our consumers are consuming that content by sitting at a desktop or a laptop, then spending money to build an Android or an iPhone app is not going to be worthwhile, right? And so there's not a lot of value there. So that's the idea as we go through those four steps. Now, when we look at application, there's a couple of key factors. You want to know how your customers are going to use each service. You also want to encourage a focus on value among your entire staff, because as your company and organization grows, you're going to have different people servicing your consumers. That might be tech support, it might be customer service agents, it might be sales agents, it might be business managers, whatever it is. The entire staff needs to know what that value is that we're trying to get to our consumers, and then we can push that across the entire staff as our leading vision. Also, when we focus on value, we want to do this during operational activity as well as during our improvement initiatives. Focusing on value is done every single day across the entire service, whether it's to make it work today or how we can improve it to make it better tomorrow. And finally, I want to make sure that you're thinking about creating a focus on value in every step of any improvement initiative. If I decide to go back and refilm this course, I need to figure out what parts need to be improved upon. And I do that by thinking about the value it's going to create for my consumer, my students. If I'm going to go back and re-record this lecture, I need to be adding something new to it that makes it better and helps you understand the concepts better and allows you to get more value out of it. That's the idea. Everything we do is focused on value, both for our consumer as well as for us, the service provider.